Hi guys, we're actually back at this back at the Honda Civic I-Shift. We have the transmission control module refitted back in after I put in the brushes. It's part 2 because I didn't have this done when I was making part 1. What I'm doing is I'm going back out, have the scan tool thrown down here, just to show you there's a I-Shift. When I had to put back together, lo and behold, I've no fancy lights in on my clock except for my door being open. I have neutral up above. You can actually see it in there, the neutral symbol. If I put it over into automatic, changes to automatic, that's me moving the gear. Neutral flashing because I probably didn't go without car being running or some weird crack like that. Anyway, I'm not going to pay any attention to it for now. In here, try not to get too much of it there. We're going to go into transmission control module. I'm going into I-Shift. I'm going to codes. So you will go to temporary codes, no codes. Okay. What I'm going to do is a functional test. I'm going to do an air bleeding adjustment. I have gone through this procedure already, but I'm just going to show you so you'll see it. So I don't know if you can see that. Clutch fluid air bleeding, which is strange. Following conditions must be met before continuing. The gear shift is in neutral. The engine is not running. The scanner is now preparing for the setup of it. I have to press the gear shift is in neutral. Okay, right, continue. Turn the ignition off, which we're going to do. It also asks me to press the brake. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting a bar. You can see it. I'm going to fit a bar in place. So that's only going between the seat and the brake pedal. And I'll just give you a fast snip of information while we're standing here. It does this and it's quite slow. Sorry about the beeping in the background. The ignition is now turned off, which we can see sitting in there. Everything has gone dead, and it says the scan tool is waiting to progress to the next screen. Just give you a fast snippet while we're sitting on this and waiting. This was the wiring diagram which I had, as I said earlier on, a little bit when I was looking at it, a little bit muggly uppy. I didn't say it in great detail. I didn't really know where I was going, to be honest with you. That was the start button, so it's that button. Here, when I pressed that, I could hear it clicking. What was happening was I had power coming down this wire as far as the actual switch itself. Then when I press the button, I'm sending power off, down, up and into this inhibitor, which the inhibitor is getting a ground wire from down here. You can actually you can see that. So I had control of that. The other one is we had power coming across and over and into the engine ECU. Now, by this getting power, this inhibitor, what it was doing, it was sending a ground. We're just after operating the control side of it. We're sending an earth rather than a power, which I said in the last video, a ground wire, ground up this wire over and up as far as relay 1, which stands up here, and I also have it coming across and down as far as relay 2. Now, when testing up here, I actually drew it up here. I had 2 pins, but these 2 little ones were the control wires. I had 2 grounds at these wires. When I actually pressed the button, I had, as I said, there, a ground coming up and up to one of them. The second side was coming over, down through relay 2, back out, across, into the engine control module, the ground was, and off over and up and back in to relay 1. So the reason I had ground on both sides here was because it was coming through the windings of the actual second relay. Now, what was happening is, in order for this relay to actually do its job, it needed this wire that we had, number 12 on the engine ECU there, it needed that to go from a ground which we were sending through these windings down. It needed this to be pulled up to 12 volts. So it needed to see positive here, which would ground that. Also needed a positive coming out here, which would ground this relay here. But it's all pretty simple. What was happening was, because of our brush has been gone in the transmission control module, transmission control module wasn't happy, wasn't sending the right signals to the engine control module. Engine control module wasn't sending out power out these wires in order for it to start. So the reason it wouldn't start is that was getting the wrong or bad information from the transmission control module. Wouldn't allow it to start. In case it was in gear, some of these things. We're still standing on this home screen here. 4 minutes into it here, but it's not does the crack quite slow. Snap-on I'm using here, but I have to say it is nearly tedious and you'll be gone to the point that you're going to actually turn it off, and just when you go to press exit, she'll do what she's meant to do. So maybe I might pause out now on my screen and I'll show you the minute the thing changes rather than standing looking at this crack. What it's going to do anyway is do a bleeding process, and we're not going to be opening the bleeder. It gives me the instruction not to open the bleeder. So what it says is leave the bleeder closed. The motor which you replace the brushes in actuates, and it's pushing out the clutch slave cylinder in and out, in and out, in and out. Once it does that, you can see I could see it visually anyway. I'm trying to keep this going on the screen as well. I could see it visually that the little lever, the fork for the clutch itself inside the gearbox was starting to travel more and more. It started off slowly, lightly, and all of a sudden then it was getting a good push on it. When it got the good push on it, happy days, jumped into the car, start the car, went for gears, and it's doing everything it should do. It's driving. I'll actually give you a little video of it driving, but I'll pause out now just to wait in order for this thing to do its job. Quite slow, but I'll talk to you in a second. Sorry, we had to change scan tools. The Verus Edge is gone as slow as you get. Sorry, trying to see it. Scanner will now perform automatic bleeding. Max, make sure we max fluid which we have. Process takes about 7 minutes. Scanner will sound when it's finished. Continuous bleed the system. Now, I don't know if we can see. I'm looking. It's a little bit hard to get it. You can actually see it there, can't you? The lever moving. That's the motor that we changed the brushes on. That's actually pushing that lever. Okay. It actually tells me not, as you saw it there, keep the bleed nipple closed. So I haven't. If we can see it, I don't know. Can you see it? The bleed nipple is just there. Yeah, I'm going to keep the bleed nipple. Sorry, there. Keep the bleed nipple closed. And as I said there, I have gone through this. I've gone through it already, so it did work. The car is moving around the yard. I'll take it for a spin there now and show you again, okay? Happy days, fingers crossed this is going to work. Talk to you soon. Okay. Just to show, key on. Must set the timer right. No lights. Press me button. Car's up and running. And we're going to go and just show you. No, we're going to go there. Sorry, this is me changing, but just to show, we're going to go in automatic so it doesn't show gears.